Clifford, thanks for sitting down with Cosmic Chronicles and UFO Hypotheses today. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
It's December 15th. It's a Wednesday in 2010, and we're here with Clifford Mahooty, who's a Zuni Elder, a civil engineer, a member of the Galaxy Medicine Society, and a member of the Kachina Society. And Clifford, today, let's talk about something that preoccupies your thoughts a lot these days, and that's the younger generation. You feel, as I understand it, that there's a connection that's not been made with the younger generations. What do you mean by that?
Well, first of all, the younger generation is people that have perhaps 50 years or younger. And what I have seen in the last 10 years is that when I came back to my village, which is Zuni, New Mexico, I've been out in the world and also been talking with several different peoples throughout the country, and I came back and there's a disconnect between what we had as a family units, what we had taught from my generation about the religious systems that we had, and I come back and I'm seeing this, that there's a lack of connection between with the younger generation and the compassion and the things that were taught us as a sort of like a religious order complex. I'm not seeing that, and I believe the reason is because of the technology that we have right now, especially when it comes to video games. We no longer have a extended family system because of the housing that they had and also the education system. So I'm very concerned that future generation, the younger, especially the younger ones that are now being born, will not have that connection as to why the family order system is gone down. So this is really my concern. And going back to my own village, the Zuni people, we have a lot of outside influence of the technological world and the communication systems in the entertainment industry that has distorted them away from our basic teachings of what the Pueblo culture, religion, spirituality. So this is where it's really a concern on my part.
What is it that the younger generation, and you're talking about 50 years and down, so people born from, say, 1960 forward or so, what is your concern that they're missing from, that's not being handed down from the older generation to the younger generation?
Well, primarily it's two things. It's first of all is the history of why we're in the situation we're in right now, especially when the problems come up. Every day you see a lot of shootings and a lot of drug use, a lot of bad things that are happening with different people when it comes down to their daily lives. We have at some time, perhaps back in the 60s, when we were going through a very intense evolution about the government systems that we were going through, and so this is why it's very difficult, especially in the Indian communities, to where there's a lot of change going on there, but we were sort of adopting a lot of those systems at that time in the arena of what is real and what is not real. And at that time we were started losing our intense religious order systems, especially when the daily lives, the prayer systems, the culture that instituted a lot of our systems of religion among the communities. So it's been quite difficult.
Do you think this has been a planned type of social movement to migrate the younger generation into more technological dependency? What is it that they're using the technology for, and how are they using it to manipulate our children, and who is they?
I believe they is the government itself, because they're the ones that are in control of a lot of these technological advancements. When you look at the in Indian community, for example, where I'm from, we've gotten away from agriculture, and agriculture is not there anymore because of the, first of all, you got to have water. So there were things that happened based upon the federal government's decision to not have the water available for what we used to have as an agricultural society.
They basically
Irrigation.
cut off your water supply with a dam, or
Well, first of all, the surface waters were dammed, and of course, because of not taking the environment, there are certain things happen. There's a lot of erosion that happens. The second thing is that a lot of your mining industries, especially at the time back in the 50s, the uranium industry, and then later on the coal, other minerals, they start pumping out the water from the underground sources. So anytime you have that, they upset the rain cycle, the water cycle. We saw this back in about the 60s that occurred. So that deviated the daily lives of the American Indian community toward a more of an adaptive the change where we started having big grocery stores. It was cheaper to buy grocery stores. So, and then at that time the job changes occurred. The education system that people became, they had to go to work. And so the lifestyle changed. People wanted television. People wanted cars. So when you get into that way of life, you get away from the basic life of what we consider religion, what we call the God complex or the spirituality part of it. And we sort of not, that becomes not a priority, and so we schedule our ways around what we need to do to improve our lives in order to get a paycheck. So, and the other thing too is that the jobs are not there on the Indian reservation, so you have to go out off the reservation. The government tried many different ways under the Great Society, under the Johnson years, to make projects, but that there was just like a very short duration, short term.